Let's talk about chronic constipation. Anybody that's going through constipation knows that it's not ideal when we aren't going every day. This is a 3-part series. In this one, I'm going to be talking about what chronic constipation can be signs of, then I'll talk about what to avoid, and then how to go about solving it. How is magnesium related to constipation? Well, magnesium is needed for just under 4,000 enzyme functions in the body. It is the key, basically, to all of these different things. And one of the roles that magnesium plays is that it is able to help the muscles relax and contract. So if you think about a bowel movement, that's what needs to happen. Anytime a client tells me that they're struggling with having heart pain or anything like that, I always think that we are looking into magnesium and whether or not there's actually enough magnesium in the body, because the heart uses a lot of magnesium as a muscle that is contracting and relaxing. Women who are pregnant and are struggling with constipation, it makes sense because magnesium is something that is really needed during pregnancy, and it's something where we're in really a magnesium deficient state. If you watched any of my previous videos, you know that I talk about where iron can build up in the body, and one of the things that Jim Moon talked about in his book, Iron, the Most Toxic Metal, is how iron can go through the colon. So if our body is trying to excrete it, then it can actually build up in our colon, and that can cause issues as well. So part of the issue for the amount of magnesium that we're consuming is that our soils are just depleted in minerals. And the second being that we lose magnesium under stress. I feel like this is a more common fact of the things that I talk about. But when we're losing magnesium, one of the ways that we can lose it really quick is through iron's dysregulation. So it's lack of movement. So if there's somebody that's a stress cadet and they're under stress a lot of the time, or if they're struggling with a whole host of different symptoms that they can't get to the bottom of, then what can be happening is that we are either holding on to emotional stress, or we can also look at the stress that iron is causing. Now, the stress that iron causes is looked at as oxidative stress. So it's when iron and oxygen are both interacting. And one of the important things is that copper actually manages both iron and oxygen. It's actually the only element to do so. And we know that when iron and oxygen interact with water, that it leads to rust. We know this if you look at a car or you look at your cast iron pan. There's a reason why you have to dry it right away, and it's because if you leave it with water on it, then it will begin to rust. So that's obviously not something that we want. We want to limit the oxidative stress in the body, and we want to get things moving. Sure, there are very many things that can also contribute, like the amount of fiber, the amount of water. Water is also very important, but I'm trying to share some things with you that you might not have heard before. So did you know about the relationship between magnesium and chronic constipation? Let me know below, and stay tuned for the second video on what to stop doing to help with chronic constipation.